What's going on, YouTube? Ferocity here. Hope you guys are doing well. It looks like we've reached the end of an era for Call of Duty and Warzone. And this isn't pertaining to Warzone 2.0, or I guess now Warzone. This whole mess is caused solely by lack of care from Activision. Like, yes, the original Warzone is, as Activision puts it, expiring in September. Now, what that means is all of the effort, all the work, all the money you've spent on the original Warzone thinking that it was going to span years, yeah, that's all gone. Activision's just running away with it and saying, to hell with you, we don't care. And once again, it showcases just how little they care about this community, how little they care about their fan base. And I always beg the question, why are people spending money on this game? Why are people taking Activision's side whenever somebody comes out and says anything negative about them? Because they just don't care about their player base. This is another example of it. And honestly, I remember when Warzone released and a lot of people were pumped. It was a massive battle royale hit. And then they decided to follow it up with the Warzone 2.0 sequel that no one asked for. And on top of that, they changed a bunch of things that, again, no one asked for. And I'm sure there are little tidbits of greatness that they decided to change from Warzone 1 to 2, but let's be real here. It was a sequel that never needed to happen. And I talked about it in a video a couple weeks ago about how I felt it was a mistake, and I still feel that way, but I feel even worse for the players that have put in hours, days of their lives playing the original Warzone, and now all of that is gone. And what this showcases once again is that Activision and its developers are dedicated on solely caring about the current run of games, and that's it. They do not care about their legacy, and they're actively trying to turn players away from their legacy. That's why they allow hackers and cheaters to run rampant in their past games, and it's starting to become a problem in their current games. That's why they let those players just run rampant and not do anything about it, because they don't want you playing the older games, even though they are far superior to what Call of Duty has to offer now. That's why they sent cease and desist orders to SM2 and XLabs, is they don't want people enjoying what this franchise could be. Instead, what they want them to do is be forced to play this. They think Call of Duty is this perfected addictive drug that players just need to have. And unfortunately, what I think a lot of players are realizing is life's better without Call of Duty. Life's better without this terrible franchise that's constantly being shoved down our throats. And on top of it, this constant microtransaction that is always there. Anytime you open the game, instead of highlighting what's new in the game or what's going on in the game, they're highlighting what's for sale, what you can buy, what stupid cosmetic they have next. And the worst part is they're probably going to interject a lot of the older cosmetics from Modern Warfare 2019 and Warzone 1 and put them for sale here in Warzone 2, or I guess now the original Warzone again. It's awful, and it's awful management from Activision, and it just showcases how greedy this company has become. Now, I mentioned also in that video a couple weeks ago how Warzone 2.0 came out. A lot of the changes went over like an old fart, or like a wet fart, pardon me. But ever since then, that original release, they have slowly been changing the game to make it more reminiscent of the original Warzone. Which begs the question, why was it made in the first place? Like, it blows my mind that you have this many developers and you actively make your games worse and slowly have to peel back changes just to make it somewhat playable. Now, all of this is happening not because Activision can't control the servers on both Warzone 1 and Warzone 2. That's not the reason why. It's because players were flocking to go back to play the original Warzone after the ample amount of negative experiences that they've continued to have on the current Warzone game. They don't want to play Warzone 2.0. And they shouldn't have to. Like, we should have a safe place to play the Warzone title, but unfortunately, Activision, Infinity Ward have failed their community at every step ever since the launch of Modern Warfare 2, that there's nowhere to play. So players went back to play the original Warzone on Caldera, found out that, oh my god, this is so much more fun than what they currently have. And Activision couldn't have that. They couldn't have players going back to the older games, because guess what? When you're on an older game, you're less likely to spend money. You're less likely to pour in your paycheck into microtransactions, and Activision can't have that, right? They need you to be buying all of their bundles. They need you to be buying all of their Black Cell battle passes and their regular battle passes and all the other nonsense they have in their game. They need you to do that. So they're trying their darndest to force you to play their current run of Call of Duty, or don't play Call of Duty at all. And what they're going to learn is that more and more players are just going to move away from Call of Duty altogether. And that's what we're seeing. I see it all the time in my comments. And yes, I would like to think that people aren't just straight up lying to me, but yeah, we can see it in the Steam numbers. I'm sure the sentiment rings true across Xbox and PlayStation that yeah, the player counts are declining rapidly, because guess what? Nobody wants to play this garbage game made by a company that has no vision and hollow intentions. Their intentions are solely based in greed, and that's all they seem to care about, is how much money can I make, not how much enjoyment can I provide my community. Call of Duty used to be a franchise that stood on top of quality, but now they don't even meet the minimum requirements of what their older games used to be able to bring. This is such a fall from grace, and it's all rooted in greed. And it's disappointing to see. So when you think back to all those great times you used to have in Call of Duty, that's all you're going to have, because there's going to be no future times. Because Call of Duty is not about making memories anymore. It's about making Activision money. It's about ensuring that they can please every single one of their board members. It's not about you having fun with your friends. It's about getting that board member an extra fucking boat. And I know I might sound dramatic and I might sound over the top, but I'm very disappointed in this franchise. I'm very disappointed that they're constantly turning their back on this community. And I'm just straight up disappointed that this is where Call of Duty is currently at. I know that I've been talking a lot about XDefiant. I know that I've been hyped about the game, and I think it deserves the hype. But I feel bad turning my back on Call of Duty fully, because I still think that we need to hold Activision accountable. I think we still need to be honest that this community is trying to come together and change this franchise. A franchise that it feels like Activision is neglecting to want to change. A franchise that Activision's turned their back on. And it's disappointing. I want Call of Duty to be successful. This isn't what this is about. I want Call of Duty to thrive and survive and be the best it can be. But it's being actively held back by the greed of Activision. And this Warzone shutdown is just the next step in their ultimate power struggle. I don't really know what the vision there is over at Activision, because it definitely isn't about delivering the best games possible. It definitely isn't about their player base, and it's solely rooted in greed. And I'm just so upset about the direction that Call of Duty has gone in over the last few years. And frankly, I'm going to continue to criticize it until they change course, until they showcase... pardon me. Wow. Pardon me. Holy smokes. Until they showcase that they're ready to move on. Until they're ready to change course and actually start caring for their community again. Because these games thrived when they had a good relationship between their developer and the community. And right now, it is solely based on whatever Mr. Boardroom Guy says to do. And that way, Call of Duty can just make an extra couple cents off of their less than stellar work. So, I would love to know how you guys feel about it. Because I'm not a Warzone guy. I don't sit there and play it for hours and hours and hours and hours. So I'm wondering what you guys think. Is this the right move, taking away Warzone Caldera? Or is it the wrong move? Should we be able to still play older Call of Duty titles? Should older Call of Duty titles have support from Activision? Or should they not? Should it just be the newest title and that's kind of it? I would love to know your thoughts down below in that comment section. I am really getting sick and tired of the greed that I'm seeing through Activision, and honestly, I cannot say enough good things about XDefiant now. I feel Ubisoft is trying to change the game. So, I want us to move away from Call of Duty. I think it's very important for us to find other games, and if you're somebody that's looking for another game to play, I suggest trying XDefiant out. That's all the time I have for today's video. I thank you all very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, can you please hit that like button? If you want to see more videos from me, please hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.